I remember the day I first held my vision for the company in my hands. It was a crisp morning in early spring, and after sleepless nights fueled by ambition and countless cups of coffee, I had secured my first round of funding for what I hoped would become a game-changing IT firm. My heart raced with excitement as I envisioned the possibilities. It was a scrappy beginning, a small office in a dilapidated building, wire-framed chairs, and a rickety old desk. But it was mine. The work was relentless, pushing myself to the brink of exhaustion. But along this journey I met Sarah. Bright-eyed and passionate, she was everything I thought I wanted. Intelligent, ambitious, and stunningly beautiful. We met at a networking event, where she instantly drew me in with her charm and wit. I was captivated, and soon we were inseparable. I believed it was love, a partnership bolstered by shared dreams as I poured myself into my startup. As my company began to grow, so did our relationship. Sarah celebrated every minor victory and encouraged me during tough decisions. In my quest for success, I only saw her unwavering support. But little did I know that beneath that surface, she saw potential. Not just in me, but in the fortune that could come from my success. Then there was Mark, my childhood best friend. He was a brilliant technologist and a trusting ally. We built the company together, and I brought him on as the chief technical officer. We shared dreams over late-night coding sessions and laughed about the future we were creating. I trusted him deeply, never suspecting that he harbored ambitions of his own. As we scaled the company, developing software that began competing with the industry's giants, I sensed a shift. Mark and Sarah began to spend more time together, framing it as work-related brainstorming. I chose to ignore the unsettling feelings gnawing at me, dismissing them as paranoia. Then came the day that shattered my world. A colleague approached me, their face a mask of concern, and handed me a series of incriminating emails, texts between Mark and Sarah that revealed their clandestine meetings. The betrayal hit me like a punch to the gut. My world came crashing down as I confronted them. Sarah, faced with the truth of her affair, defended Mark, proclaiming he was the real visionary, and I was lucky to ride the wave of his success. The seeds of doubt she planted started to sprout in my mind. In a matter of weeks, they effectively orchestrated my ousting from the company. They framed me as a fraud, manipulating financial reports to suggest wrongdoing. I was blindsided, standing in front of my board as they voted to remove me from the company I had built from the ground up. Everything I held dear, my dreams, my marriage, was torn away in the blink of an eye. I stumbled out of that conference room feeling hollow, my heart a tangled mess of betrayal and anger. Lost and disoriented, I vowed not to be defeated. With steely determination, I began concocting my next step. I started a new IT company, fueled by a burning ambition, far fiercer than before. I reached out to a small group of former colleagues who had believed in me, and one by one, they rallied to join my new enterprise. I learned from my previous mistakes, keenly aware of the importance of loyalty and collaboration. As I laid the foundation for my new startup, Mark and Sarah were not going to let me go easily. They mounted a smear campaign, spreading malicious rumors about my competency and attempted to undercut my every effort. They sabotaged meetings and tried to lure away key employees, weaving a web of deception, thinly veiled by a facade of camaraderie. But for every obstacle they placed in my path, I found new ways to innovate and expand. I began networking aggressively, attending conferences, and connecting with entrepreneurs who shared my vision. Slowly but surely, I landed contracts that were once the lifeblood of Mark's company. I exposed the inconsistency in their services, showcasing the genuine commitment to quality that my new team held dear. As I gained momentum, I formed alliances with influential figures in the tech industry who appreciated integrity and creativity. It was through these connections that I discovered Mark and Sarah had begun to stretch their resources too thin, neglecting quality for quantity. Clients began to voice their dissatisfaction, and my own firm became the oxygen they needed in a breathless world where authenticity was rare. Then came the moment of reckoning. I was in a meeting with a potential high-stakes client who had been with Mark. As I pitched my vision, a whisper from the back of the room caught my attention. "Do you know about Mark's handling of some recent contracts?" The words, laden with concern, shifted the mood. I deftly turned the conversation, seamlessly integrating their doubts about Mark, showcasing the integrity my team had. By the end of the meeting, we had a deal. With every contract I secured, Mark's empire began to falter. Despite the setbacks they threw my way, cancellation attempts, misinformation spread through dubious channels, nothing could prepare them for the tidal wave of clients I started pulling from their grasp. I had become a rival, not out of vindictiveness, but fueled by a dedication that Mark and Sarah had lost long ago. As I continued to rise, I found depths to my old company that I had never explored. It was an emotional journey, keeping my focus on building a culture of transparency and collaboration. I even managed to win over clients disbarred from Mark's firm, lured by my passionate commitment and unwavering vision. In a turn of fate, I discovered a loophole in the technology Mark had been developing, an idea that could take our core product to a new level, and it was a risky move. As I finalized plans for an innovative launch, the pressure mounted. I gathered my team, and together we executed the strategy flawlessly. The launch was a resounding success. With success came revenge. Being present on every industry blog, our story gained traction, contrasting the ethos of our old company, which was now teetering on the brink of collapse. When Mark's company faced legal issues due to mismanagement, I positioned myself as the alternative, reeling in clients from the sinking ship. The day I received the news that Mark's company had filed for bankruptcy was bittersweet, yet it felt like poetic justice. In the end, I reclaimed my narrative. I had built something enduring from the ashes of betrayal. My heart still bore the scars of deception, but it was now filled with a sense of purpose and direction. Sarah and Mark faded from my life like shadows at dawn, their ambitions extinguished, while I thrived as a testament to resilience and authenticity. I often reflect on how trust can be a double-edged sword. While I had once allowed deception to ruin my dreams, it ultimately forged a stronger version of myself. I no longer built my life around potential alone. Instead, I embraced integrity and the immeasurable value of genuine relationships. As my new company continued to grow, I was grateful for the fierce determination that rose within me, and I knew that I truly owned my success.